All right. Season ain't over. We still got to do these. I mean, I don't have to do them, but I'm doing them anyway. Week 17. Vikings hosting the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football on New Year's Eve. Literally the final game of 2023. I cannot wait to say goodbye to 2023 in every conceivable fashion imaginable. But for the purposes of this video, primarily dealing with the woebegone season of my football team here. It's been a rough week. Christmas was ruined by another terrible loss that shouldn't have been a loss, and then having to, suffer the taunts from Lions fans. Established 2023. And what can we say? Like, like, they got us this year. There's no question about it. You know, look at the standings, man. We're 4 games back. Um, I think I don't think there's the gap between those two teams. All things being equal, but it is what it is, and we've had to suffer a lot, including weirdos finding my videos and talking shit. Um, which is weird because I don't know, man. If the I mean, just last year the Vikings win the division. I don't recall, you know, the response to winning the division last year from Vikings fans to be immediately go to like every social media outlet from the Green Bay Packers and just talk a bunch of shit. I mean, yeah, we were like glad to take the division from the Packers, but we were celebrating that. What the idea wasn't to just win the division just so you can talk shit to some other team, to some other team's fans. It's weird behavior, but whatever. The Lions haven't done shit for 30 years. They may not do shit for another 30. So I guess we gotta just let them have their fun while we wait for the inevitable playoff loss. And boy, will I will be a sore winner on that one. Just like the Lions fans are sore winners winning the division, but they got the division, and we're just licking our wounds at 7-8. Not in the playoffs at the moment. T.J. Hawkinson out for the year, much to the delight of many of these Lions fans. Um, with injuries, it just never fucking stops. Biggest news of the week with the Vikings is the quarterback changes again. They are going with Jaron Hall. Um, Not that surprising. I mean, frankly, some of the stuff Nick Mullins said post game last week makes me wonder if he's got it all right up here. I mean, he doesn't seem to get it. Um, we don't know what I mean. Jaron Hall's a complete unknown. People, I mean, some Vikings fans have built up that one good drive that he had uh, against the Falcons, 2 months ago. They've built that up into being like it's Joe Montana in the Super Bowl. Like it was an okay. There was one okay drive out of two that he had. He looked okay. He threw a couple nice passes. It showed some mobility, but we have no idea. Like, if he had gone on and played that whole game, would we even won that game? Who knows? Would we have won any of these other ones that we've lost over the course of the last 2 months? I don't know. But we'll give him a shot. We'll see what he can do. I mean, it's a pressure situation because the season's on the line. I mean, the season literally might be on the line depending on what happens earlier in the day. Um, but you know, it's a pressure pack situation, but it's not that much pressure because who I mean, the pressure's off as far almost as far as I'm concerned because nothing's gonna fucking work out. This will somehow prove to be the wrong decision, just like everything has been wrong. The right decisions always end up wrong, and then even if the right decisions are the right decisions, then other shit goes wrong, and we lose games. Injuries, Hawkinson's out for the year now. Um, who else was put out? I think Troy Dye was put on injured reserve. Jordan Addison might be out again. Byron Murphy's out again. I mean, to the bitter end, it just never stopped this year with injuries. I don't think it's all the turf. They're changing the turf at US Bank Stadium, but in the off season, but that's got it's half these injuries have been on the road. I mean, obviously Kirk blew out his Achilles on the cow pasture at Lambeau, so it's not just the U.S. Bank Stadium turf, but we'll see if that makes any difference next year. And sometimes these injury seasons can be very cyclical. One year you get just destroyed. The next year you don't have too much. Like last year, I don't think we had too much that was serious. And we're paying for it, boy. I wish we could have been paying for our good fortune from last year when the good fortune included at least one playoff win, but no, we don't even get that. So Packers coming in. Packers are in the same spot as we are, 7-8. Their big story was they suspended Jair Alexander, but they're coming in here. Their season's on the line too. They are. I'm pretty sure they are eliminated if the Vikings beat them. If the Packers beat us, we're not necessarily eliminated, but we might be, depending on what happens earlier in the day. We got the Rams and the Seahawks a game ahead of us. And the Rams, I think, are at the Giants, and the Seahawks are hosting Pittsburgh. So our season may rest in the hands of Tyrod Taylor and Mason Rudolph. Yeah. So, we would need one of those upsets to occur. When either the Rams or Seahawks have to lose, or we're going, or it's an elimination game. It's literally going to be an elimination game for both of us. And then obviously we would need to win week 18 against the Lions. We don't know what the Lions are going to be doing next week. They're playing here tonight in Dallas. I'm hoping the Cowboys kick the shit out of them. But there's probably not a scenario at this point where the Lions are going to at least have some sort of playoff seeding to play for in week 18. So they probably are going to play everybody, and they'll beat us because why wouldn't they? But so there are scenarios where we can get in with 8 wins, but it's not going to happen. But yeah, so if those 2 games go again or don't go our way, and why would anything go our way? It's very symbolic to me that the last day of the calendar year is we're facing this. Go back to January 1. We had this great 2022 calendar year. January 1, 2023, we go to Lambeau and get killed. Brian O'Neill gets hurt, a real humbling loss. And it was just an omen for the calendar year of 2023. And it's never stopped. And I don't expect it to stop here either. I don't think the Vikings are going to win this game. There's nothing. Why would we win this game? It'd be some positivity to eliminate our hated rival on national TV. It'd be something nice to take from this season, but we're not going to get anything nice to take from this season. So why would this happen? We're not going to beat the Packers. We should beat the Packers. We're better than the Packers, but what does it matter? We're better than a lot of these teams that we've been kicking games away to. The last couple months. Well, we're better than Denver. We didn't beat them. We're better than the Bears. Didn't beat them. We're probably better than the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals, beat us, and then they went and got killed by Pittsburgh. Bengals aren't better than us, but doesn't matter. Turnovers. Maybe Jaron Hall can stop this turnover onslaught that's just never stopped. Well, it'd be nice if he didn't throw 4 interceptions and try for a few more. But we have no idea what to expect. Maybe he'll be good, and that's the other thing. It's like maybe he'll be, if he gets these 2 games, and who knows, maybe if there's a playoff thing. If he looks pretty good in these games, it might influence what they do in the offseason. I don't think there's anything he can do short of going on a Super Bowl run as a quarterback that's going to make this organization think, oh, we're going to hand the reins to Jaron Hall in 2024. I don't think that's going to happen, but maybe he can establish himself as being, a pretty good player. Maybe he'll be the backup. And obviously that depends on what we do with Kirk. And do we draft a guy in the first round? Obviously, there's a lot of Vikings fans who are hoping that we lose out the next 2 games just to move up a couple extra spots in the draft. I'm not one of those people. I will never be. I've railed against the tank Nazis for years, but I'm not going to root for losses, especially at this point. I mean, yeah, if you lose out, you might move up a couple more draft spots, but you have no idea what these other teams are going to do. So just gotta let it play out. We'll see, and we'll draft where we draft. And who knows if they're even going to be that motivated to draft quarterback. Um, but yeah, it's just this is how 2023 will go out. It's kind of just like last week. I went into that game just dreading it. I knew the Vikings were going to lose in probably excruciating fashion because why wouldn't they? And now why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you lose this one too and probably get eliminated on your home? You mean you lost you gave your division to the fucking Lions last week, and now this one you might give your playoff hopes away to the Packers. And not even like a good Packer team. This Packer team is nothing. Jordan Love is, he throws like jump balls and gets some miracle catches once in a while. He's not a good quarterback. He'll probably light us up because we don't have any fucking defense left. But it's just fucking frustrating. But we'll watch and we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be it'll be a close game because they all have to be close. We haven't lost a blowout this year. At least last year we lost some blowouts. So we could just kind of wipe the floor of the games. Every loss has been just a fucking nut punch, except for maybe the Philly game. The Philly game was a 1-score game, but we scored late. But we're still in that game. But every other one has just been a fucking punch to the nuts, and I expect another punch to the nuts because why wouldn't it be one on the last day of the year, calendar year, last game of the calendar year, literally the last game. Why wouldn't it just be more of the same of what 2023 has been for the Vikings? And so, yeah, I don't know, like 27-24, something like that. Packers will win. And we'll probably be eliminated because the Giants, they're probably not going to beat the Rams. Maybe a little more of a hope for Pittsburgh to do something. Pittsburgh looked really good last week with Mason Rudolph at quarterback. Maybe they can do something. They certainly have a defense. I give Pittsburgh a better shot than the Giants to help us, but nobody's going to help us because we can't be helped because we are doomed for this season to just never get what we want and to have everyone else get what they want. But maybe 2024 will be a little brighter in every conceivable way, and we do have a fun January playoff loss for the Lions to look forward to. That will be I will enjoy that, especially if it's Stafford going in there in the first round of the playoffs and lighting them up, knocking them out. That would be so fucking funny, and I will laugh about that all off season. But for now, we still have to suffer through a couple more games for this season, including getting eliminated, more than likely eliminated on our home field by our hated rival on national TV. Happy New Year.